I don't know about you, but we love to vacation. And when we come home, I always have a whole bunch of brochures, ticket stubs, and all the little memorabilia, plus thousands of pictures on my phone. So many things to take care of, and it seems overwhelming at times, doesn't it? But I have figured out a little system that has helped me to get all of that stuff from this to this. And I've included all of the fun memorabilia that we bring home from vacation. And I'd love to show you my tricks and tips on how to get it done. I do love my vacation albums, and I love to be able to look at the photos and kind of relive the memories of our time away. My husband is a farmer, and it's really hard sometimes to get away when the weather is nice because it's such a busy time of the year for them. But we've had some wonderful vacations, and I would just like to share a little bit with you. This is a custom album, and so I've taken one of our photos that we took when we were in Vancouver, and I was able to have the album made. It's a custom album, and let me just flip it over and I can show you the back. This was from Bouchard Gardens, and so that is the back cover page, and it is equally as beautiful. So a custom album is always a nice way to just really start your album off really well. The cover in itself is absolutely beautiful, and it's really easy to do. But let me just open the album up and just share a little bit with you. Now, I am definitely one who likes to take the memorabilia and bring it home with me. And of course, like most of us, I bring more than I could ever use home. But I like to bring it home and then sort through it later and decide what I'm going to use. And I've created a little pocket here. It's just something that I have made myself, and was able to put our boarding passes in it. And you'll find that I tuck little things like that throughout my album. Another thing that I love to do in my albums is I love to use these peekaboo pockets. Now it's just a really great way for me to add a few extra photos to a page so that I can get everything I want on the page without having to have additional pages made of the exact same thing. So that's one of my favorite things. And then I create my own little pockets for a lot of the memorabilia and things. And that way I can do a little more of the detail work, things that we might forget over time, things that you looking through my album might not care about, but I do. And so I just kind of tuck them away and can look at those as I wish to. But here is another. I love to include the memorabilia, that the maps of the places that we have been, and also include the photos. And I am going to put my sleeves, my protective sleeves on these pages. But if I want to take this out and look at it, I can either pull it through the sleeve or I can just take the sleeve off to do that. But it also doesn't bother me to not put a sleeve on it. So it's individual choice in that regard. Again, another little pocket where I've been able to tuck in our passes for the public transit system. And I write right on my page often. If I'm not tucking it in somewhere, I just go ahead and write it on the page. I don't have the best handwriting in the world. And I think that's something that as scrapbookers, we have our different train of thought on that. Some people would prefer to type it up and print it out and attach it. There's no right or wrong way. That's the best thing about scrapbooking is there is no scrapbook police. And so I just want you to enjoy putting your scrapbook together, but don't skip putting in the details because you will really appreciate that down the road. And I'm not going to go through the entire album here, but I did want to just show you a little bit. This was an artist that was in the market that we went to, and I bought a piece of her art. This over here, we take great photographs, but there's always a perfect photograph. And of course, they put that in a postcard. So I like to include things like that. And your writing, it can be down the side, it can be underneath, just wherever you'd like to put it. And again, you could tuck it aside if you'd like to. So without further ado, I will give you a brief overview of the rest of the album. So there's a few things that you can do ahead of time with your travels to just prepare for scrapbooking your amazing memories later. One is to bring a small notebook or even just a few sheets of paper. This is literally what I wrote on. It's the back of our directions. And I just jotted down the things that we saw that day, the places that we went, and any memorable things that we would want to just remember later, but we might not come up with the exact name. So bring that along, write down the date, write down just a brief description of what you were wearing. That will help you with your pictures because sometimes we take similar photos on different days in different locations, and you'll be able to put the right photos with the right places. Jot down just a few things. And if you're like me, you start out really strong at the beginning of the vacation and then you taper off, and that's okay. It's normal. Maybe some of you would be really thorough and love it and go right to the end, but I tend to taper off, and that's all right. The other thing is to bring a plastic Ziploc style baggie, and bigger than a gallon size if you're somebody that collects a lot of memorabilia. And go ahead and write on the outside of that the date that you start your trip and where you're going, and that will be something that you will just stick all of your little bits and pieces of memorabilia. You will have the maps, the tickets, just anything that you would tend to pick up that you would want to bring home and possibly use. And I haven't really talked about this yet, but I tend to take a lot of photos. I don't know if you're like me, but I tend to take 3 or 4 pictures of the same thing, hoping to get the great shot. And I don't always do that, but when I do get home, I am a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of photographs that I have taken. So one suggestion would be, if you have a few minutes in the evening or while you're driving to your next location, if you just spent, 15 to 30 minutes of time deleting pictures that you don't want, or even sorting the best pictures that you have on your phone into a separate folder. And then you'll know when you get home, you'll be able to print those right away. I tend to not want to do that when I'm on vacation. I might try to do it, but I tend to not do it. So when I do get home, I try to schedule a time, maybe 15 minutes every night for a week or so, and start sorting those pictures. So I take my very favorite ones from each day or from each event, and if I want to do any editing of those photos, cropping it, lightening it up a little bit, whatever, I try to spend that time right away when I get home while everything is fresh in my mind and I get the pictures printed. I don't always get everything in the album, but I do tend to get all of the information together along with all of the photos. The next step would be to purchase any of the supplies that you're going to need for your album. So that might include your album, it might include ordering a custom cover for your album, pages, page protectors, scrapbooking supplies like paper, stickers, anything that might go along with your trip, or enhance it in some way as you put it into your album. Make sure you have plenty of adhesive on hand as well, because that is going to be your best friend as you are putting everything into this book. So gather your scrapbooking supplies, get them ordered, get them ready so that when you are ready to work on your album, you have everything that you need. I hope this video has helped you to have some great ideas on how to take the bits and pieces from your favorite vacation, the photos, the memorabilia, and put them into an album so that you can enjoy it whenever you want. One of the best parts about vacation is coming home and looking back at all the fun you had, looking forward to your next travel adventure. I've listed fun supplies down below, so you can be sure to check out that in the description. And thank you so much for your sweet comments. And for those of you that have hit that like button, it just lets me know that this is something you're interested in, and I have more things coming for you down the road. I have a few more videos coming to you soon that will go a little more in depth on the individual steps that you can take to create the most beautiful album ever. I hope you'll join me. So have fun, be creative, and do something meaningful today.